I have detected what I believe is a Vladimir Putin clone in an interview with Megyn Kelly, possibly a Megyn Kelly clone as well. And that is a violation of conspiracy law, specifically the clone laws. So I'm going to read my updates to clone laws. For the purpose of conspiracy law, media outlet is defined as any organization, including organizations behind internet search engines and any and all websites or sentient beings that directly or indirectly influences news, broadcasts, or publications in any form that could influence the public in any type of election, or whose activities could cause direct or indirect harm to innocent persons. Innocent being those that have not violated or are not intending to violate conspiracy law. For the purpose of conspiracy law, all laws that apply to clones also apply to fake substitutes. So let's say the perpetrator of a conspiracy law violation is not a clone, but an evil automaton who's committed a death penalty violation of conspiracy law. That evil automaton must be destroyed or reconstructed, making him or her in compliance to conspiracy law, the equivalent of the death penalty for a clone. For the purpose of conspiracy law, the Pope under conspiracy law is Jesuit leader Zach Knight, not the Pope as seen in the news media. Zach has come to Gail on Jesus' side as of September 1st, 2016. For the purpose of conspiracy law, the term Jesuits or Jesuit conspirator refers to willing and knowing Laurie McBride Jesuits. Any willing and knowing use of clones or half-clones or fake substitutes that further the goals of the Jesuit order, those Jesuits who desire to violate conspiracy law, and or that violates the principles of conspiracy law and or would bring harm to significant persons, will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. A fake substitute is defined as any being, automaton, clone, half-clone, etc., that impersonates an authentic person with the intent to violate conspiracy law. Laws for clones or fake substitutes who impersonate significant persons and for all publications and broadcasts online or otherwise that broadcast or publish clone lies. Whenever a Jesuit clone of a significant person impersonates that significant person in a manner that promotes Jesuit treachery, lies, and deceptions, that clone has committed a death penalty violation of conspiracy law. That clone must be arrested and tried before the world in a military tribunal on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. Both the Jesuit clone and the person he impersonates must attend the tribunal. All of that clone's lies and deceptions will be exposed on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. The authentic person who has suffered from the crimes of this impersonator will make a statement under 666 computer lie detection on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel refuting all the lies of the clone. Next, we'll show evidence of the damage made by the clone on Gabriel Chana Fox News. The judge who oversees the case will state that anybody who supports the Jesuit order in their deceptions and lies to undermine righteous, significant persons must be executed as a war criminal because the Jesuit order is guilty of the murder of billions, and we cannot tolerate anyone who supports the Jesuit order, those are the Laurie McBride Jesuits, and who tries to help the Jesuits succeed in their goal for world dominion by undermining righteous people. The authentic and significant person will then be handed the execution instrument and will publicly execute his or her clone on worldwide television, Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel, to make an example of that clone and show the world that lies, deception, and murder do not pay in conspiracy law honoring nations. Next, the judge will read off a list of all publications and news broadcasts that willingly and knowingly cooperated with the clone in his or her deceptions, and they'll be fined a very steep fine for this cooperation. The Homeland Security Department will launch an investigation behind all lying news stories related to the crimes of the clone, and all Jesuits and journalists who willingly and knowingly conspired with the clone in the lying conspiracy will all be executed publicly on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel at the same time as the evil clone. The names of all publications, news broadcasts, and all forms of publications or broadcasts that participated with the Jesuit clone in his or her lies will be mentioned and listed or mentioned in a public broadcast on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel and will all be fined for criminal journalism. If the published and broadcast lies happened outside of the will and knowledge of the broadcaster or publication, an investigation will be made into how these lies managed to get published or broadcast, and those responsible for the publication or broadcast of the lies will be exposed publicly on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. and those responsible will be fined, and if they willingly and knowingly participated in the Jesuit lies that impersonated a righteous person in a manner that supported Jesuit goals, the criminals behind the Jesuit lies will also be executed publicly, if possible, on the Gabriel Chana Fox News channel. In cases where a fine is assessed and the person who paid the fine is also executed, and or if he or she is unable to pay the fine, the Jesuit order will be liable for the fine, and Jesuit bank accounts will be seized to get the fine if necessary. The fine will be assessed for each day that the lying article or broadcast remains in publication or broadcast. All fines will go toward funding the Homeland Security Departments and the military operations of conspiracy law-honoring nations. Laws for media outlets who cover significant persons. A list of significant persons will be presented to all broadcasters in online and print publications. No broadcaster or online or print publication can present to the public any news story about any significant person without prior approval from the Homeland Security Departments for accuracy. The reason for this is twofold. If they print or broadcast a dangerous lie, they will be fined. And two, to prevent from having to fine a broadcaster or publicate, to prevent that, they must clear the story with the Homeland Security Departments of their country for accuracy. Most countries now honor conspiracy law. Jesuits are sly, and most journalists need help to ensure their stories are accurate. We offer this as a free service. A dangerous lie is defined as a lie that willingly and knowingly defames, injures, harms a significant person with the intent to weaken or bring down that significant person, to enhance the ability of Lori McBride Jesuits to take over the world, and which could really damage that significant person's present or future ability to defend themselves against evil Lori McBride Jesuits. Lies have inundated the mainstream press, so we need to differentiate between lies and dangerous lies so that this law can be enforced effectively, with our law enforcement not wasting time on lies that aren't of much consequence. If they went after every lie, this law couldn't be enforced because there are just too many lies. Because this is such an overwhelming task, we allow the use of computer technology to help our Homeland Security departments weed through the massive news reports submitted to us for approval. We can use bots and programming to help us identify dangerous lies in the news report. The Homeland Security Department will coordinate with the nanotechnology research team to come up with the most effective ways to screen news reports for approval as outlined in this legal document. All methods used to screen these news reports must honor conspiracy law, or whoever is willingly and knowingly behind any methods used for screening news reports that violate conspiracy law will receive the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator. Past lies that are still broadcast or available to the public will be analyzed to determine if they're dangerous, and if so, they must be dealt with according to conspiracy law and or this document. Significant persons are persons such as Gail Chord Schuler, Vladimir Putin, Matthew McConaughey, Brent Spiner, Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un, etc., and all the men on Gail's marriage list, and any person who has a significant impact on the life of Gail Chord Schuler and her men. It's not a violation of freedom of press or speech, but a wise measure to help honest journalists in their job. Jesuits use their clones to deceive. The Homeland Security Departments will review the story to ensure it's true about the significant person and that it's not a dangerous lie caused by the activities of a clone or Jesuit conspiracy. Once the story passes inspection, a copy will be made of it at the Homeland Security Department, and it must be published or broadcast exactly as it was submitted to the Homeland Security Department. Because some broadcasts are impromptu, this is fine, as long as the content remains truthful and all the content has been cleared for accuracy through the Homeland Security Department that has jurisdiction over that media outlet. This is a lot of work for the Homeland Security Departments, and honest journalists should be glad that they get free support in their research for their stories to help them avoid fines, defamation lawsuits, etc. Any media outlet in a conspiracy law-honoring nation that publishes or broadcasts any stories about significant persons without prior approval from the Homeland Security Departments will be subjected to a fine for not getting prior approval. If the story is not true and full of lies and unnecessarily invades privacy, they'll also be fined for each day the story or broadcast is presented to the public. If the story is true but invades the privacy of a significant person in a manner that makes it easy for that significant person to be harassed by Jesuits and did not need to be published for the public's welfare, the journalist and or broadcaster will also be subjected to a fine. for each day the story or article is presented to the public. Those broadcasters and journalists who are serious violators of this section of conspiracy law about media outlets who cover significant persons will be boycotted and will be published in a list as criminal media outlets who support the evil Jesuit order. The Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel will maintain this list on their website and may read off names from the list of criminal journalists to make the public aware of who these criminal media outlets are. If they are financed with Jesuit monies, that will also be exposed on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. Once a media outlet's been boycotted, no advertiser can use them for advertisement for their products, and no one's allowed to financially support that media outlet or its subsidiaries. To do so would be financing and supporting a terrorist organization and will result in steep fines against both the advertiser and the media outlet by the international government, which are all nations that honor conspiracy law. Very serious violators of this law about media outlets will be shut down, and the names of all persons involved in the media outlet will be arrested as Jesuit conspirators and tried on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. Those who willingly and knowingly used media lies and deceptions to support the Jesuits in their media presentation will be executed publicly on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. In cases where a journalist or media outlet was willingly and knowingly manipulated into presenting a dangerous lie about a significant person, that journalist or media outlet may still suffer a fine, but it may be a lesser fine, or we may not fine them at all. Manipulated or manipulation is defined as being extorted, taken over, illegally cloned, or copied or tricked, using any and all direct or indirect methods of lie presentation, including use of brain control to promote a dangerous lie. The criminals behind the direct or indirect willing and knowing manipulation will be exposed on Gabriel Chana Fox News, and the Jesuit order's involvement will be exposed. The greater fine will be sent to the Laurie McBride Jesuits or guilty party for payment, and if possible, the guilty party behind the manipulation will be executed publicly on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. Willing and knowing direct or indirect manipulation of a media organization to promote dangerous lies will not be tolerated, and all such manipulation will be exposed and those behind the manipulation executed publicly if possible. In fairness to freedom of speech in the press, negative or unfavorable news about significant persons can be presented as long as the news is necessary for the public's welfare and does not unnecessarily invade the privacy of the significant person, and the story is true. Regardless of whether the story is true or false, all stories involving significant persons must be reviewed for accuracy by the Homeland Security departments that have jurisdiction over that media outlet, and these stories cannot unnecessarily invade the privacy of significant persons. The Homeland Security departments will scan all stories for accuracy, dangerous lies, and for unnecessary privacy invasion. Okay. Those media outlets who reside in countries that don't honor conspiracy law and who cooperate with Jesuits in deceptions and lies about significant persons will be exposed as criminal media outlets on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. All persons involved in that media outlet will be listed as wanted criminals, and if those criminal journalists ever step foot in a conspiracy law honoring nation, they are to be arrested and executed publicly, if possible, on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel. Okay, I just saw a NBC News presentation with Megyn Kelly interviewing Vladimir Putin, and I believe that was a clone because I know Vladimir Putin, and he did not seem like the real Vladimir. The dead giveaway was when he said that he's never been on a bear. Vladimir Putin does have a bear. He even rides the bear. So and I don't think he would ever state publicly that he doesn't have a bear. So that was a clone. It was an attempt to discredit me as the Empress because I actually made a video about Vladimir Putin on his bear. So I want you to investigate that story and all the reporters and the possibility of clone involvement and just handle that according to this law and conspiracy law.